In the spring of 1945, Berlin was in flames, and the Reich Chancellery was falling. Amid the chaos, a frontline soldier described something strange he saw: corpses of people with Asian features, dressed in SS uniforms, but draped in mysterious orange cloaks. Who were they? Where had they come from? The story would later hint at a secret connection between Nazi Germany and Tibet. This mysterious organization, Ahnenerbe, was at the center of it all. Today, we're going to uncover how a secret research institute became the heart of Nazi mysticism, what role Himmler played in shaping the occult under the Third Reich, why expeditions to Tibet, the Middle East, and Scandinavia mattered to the Nazis, how Ahnenerbe intertwined pseudoscience, archaeology, and ideology to serve one man's vision. The history of the Third Reich is deeply intertwined with mysticism and the occult. While other nations focused on industry and politics, Germany's elite explored the unknown: rituals, ancient runes, and secret societies. Himmler, the man who would become the architect of the Holocaust, found himself drawn to these ideas, seeking a new philosophy beyond traditional religion. In 1918, as Germany grappled with defeat in World War I, a society called Thule emerged in Munich. Its members were obsessed with the myth of the Aryans, claiming their roots stretched back to the lost civilization of Atlantis. They theorized that this superior Nordic race had dominated the world and that Germany was its rightful heir. This belief system combined conspiracy, mysticism, and intense anti-Semitism. Himmler joined the movement in the 1920s, hungry for purpose and direction. He absorbed these ideas, learning from figures like Hermann Wirth and Karl Maria Willigut, who claimed ancient Germanic artifacts and runes could grant supernatural powers, telepathy, telekinesis, and connection to the past. Himmler embraced this vision fully, merging mysticism with the growing power of the Nazi Party. By 1935, Himmler had aligned himself with Ahnenerbe, the heritage of German Ancestors Society, transforming it into a sprawling research institute. It wasn't just about archaeology. Ahnenerbe had departments for biology, botany, geology, medicine, and even occult sciences. They measured skulls to define Aryan traits, studied Tibetan civilization to trace Aryan ancestry, and sent expeditions across the world, from Tibet to the Middle East, from Iceland to Finland, to collect artifacts proving Germanic supremacy. The organization's reach extended into schools, party cells, propaganda, and religion. Himmler envisioned a future where the SS not only served as Hitler's guard, but as the ideological backbone of a new German empire. He sought to create a monastic black order, almost a new religion, using Ahnenerbe to legitimize Germany's claim to racial and cultural superiority. In 1938, the SS-led expedition to Tibet, headed by Ernst Schaefer, aimed to establish a direct link between Tibetans and the Aryan race. They collected manuscripts, seeds, and artifacts, measured skulls, and even built a radio connection between Lhasa and Berlin. The Nazis believed that uncovering these secrets could unlock hidden powers, a mysticism Himmler fully embraced. Meanwhile, Ahnenerbe sent teams to Scandinavia to study Viking heritage, to the Middle East in search of ancient civilizations, and across occupied Europe to uncover Germanic relics. Runic symbols were taught to SS members as both cultural history and talismanic power. Himmler was meticulous. Every expedition, every discovery, every myth served to strengthen his vision of Aryan dominance. By the mid-1930s, Himmler had consolidated power within Ahnenerbe, turning it into the scientific and ideological engine of the SS. He was no longer just a follower of mysticism. He became its primary architect, using it to justify the expansion of German territory, the restructuring of society, and ultimately, the horrors that lay ahead. The Nazi obsession with the mystical and the scientific was astonishing. Ahnenerbe, the SS Research Institute, didn't just dig up the past, they tried to reshape the future. From telekinesis experiments and mind-reading attempts to hypnosis and remote communication, they explored every possible angle of the occult. Some of it was nonsense, yes, but some of the SS truly believed they could harness these powers. By 1940, their expeditions reached the Baltic states, tracing the supposed lineage of the ancient Teutons, from medieval knights to Freemasons, collecting relics like crystal skulls, and even chasing the Holy Grail in Montségur, France. All of these artifacts were sent to Berlin, intended to fuel a mystical new civilization under the Third Reich. By 1942, as the war raged, Himmler's teams were in the Caucasus, digging for secrets buried by history itself. They even discovered a mysterious chest in Adygea with strange skulls, later identified as deer skulls, missing frontal lobes. Another expedition went to Crimea, aiming to uncover the ancient Gothic kingdom, the cradle of Germanic power. They planned to turn Crimea into an elite SS colony, complete with pure Aryan crops and a retreat for the Nazi high command. But Soviet advances, and ultimately Germany's defeat, ended these dreams. Meanwhile, Otto Rahn, the man hunting the Holy Grail, returned from Montségur with strange artifacts, perhaps even the Grail itself, before his tragic fall from favor and disappearance. Hermann Wirth, once head of Ahnenerbe, had already been removed for criticizing Hitler, leaving Heinrich Himmler at the helm. Wolfram Sievers became the chief administrator, later hanged at Nuremberg for his role in atrocities, including the horrors conducted in concentration camps under Ahnenerbe's guise. While some searched for Shambhala or collected witches' files, others carried out practical research. They studied herbs for medical cures, experimented with hypothermia and pressure chambers, and even developed biological weapons. Men like Philipp von Luckeburg and Heinz Brücker worked on homeopathy and plant genetics, stealing Soviet archives to create new crops, while Sigmund Rascher's cruel hypothermia and gynecology experiments ended in his execution. Ahnenerbe's projects ranged from mystical ambitions to lethal scientific research, all backed by massive funding from Himmler's industrial allies, including Daimler-Benz and BMW. Himmler envisioned the SS as a monastic brotherhood, a new civilization, and Wewelsburg Castle became its spiritual center. There, the Spear of Longinus was displayed, the famous Black Sun mosaic adorned the floors, and Death's Head rings were awarded personally by Himmler. The castle was built with precise symbolism, echoing ancient Germanic myths, runes, and Tibetan influences, all feeding into Himmler's vision of a new Aryan religion. Even after the war, the castle's ruins were restored, and some of these artifacts survived, leaving behind a chilling reminder of his ambitions. By the war's end, many Ahnenerbe members vanished. Some were executed, like Sievers, while others escaped to Latin America or continued scientific work under new identities. The archives were seized by the Allies, and some remain classified to this day. Himmler himself tried to negotiate his survival, even offering to release prisoners as a gesture, but he was captured, and in 1945 he took his own life with cyanide before facing justice. Yet the legacy of his mystical and scientific obsessions, the experiments, the artifacts, the twisted vision of a new man, continued to echo in history. Finally, the legend of New Swabia hints at even stranger ambitions. The Germans sent expeditions to Antarctica in 1938-39, claiming territory and mapping unknown lands. Conspiracy theories suggest secret bases, flying saucers, and hidden Nazi technology, but the only verified fact is that Germany was serious about expanding its reach, even to the frozen ends of the earth. Live in the moment, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.